Let's do some Roth conversions and save taxes. You ready? This is going to be fun, man. This is a real world scenario for the most part. I'll share with you where it's different. Just got off the phone with a guy, good guy, man, and it's just fantastic. Love my job, and a lot of fun. And we're going to save a boatload of money on Roth conversions. And it was interesting because he was talking to some guy who was bringing up, charitable remainder trust, all that. I'm just like, all right, let's just dive into it. It's fun. It's remember, always keep it simple, stupid. And this guy's an engineer by trade. The problem with engineers know the more moving parts, the more likely a breakdown. We want less moving parts, which means more likely for an efficient plan that can survive the test of time. And that's the thing. Keep it simple, stupid goes right in the ball of wax, is that what it is? The wheelhouse of engineers, where you're saying, look, man, less moving parts, better. All right. So we're going to start with old Tim and Kim's sample. All right. And they're going to live in a tax-free state. Where do I have them living? Actually, I can't remember. We have them living, I can't remember, in what state? Do I have them? North Carolina? Oh, in Washington. Okay, yeah, we'll use Washington. That's fine. Let's say Tennessee. It doesn't matter. But we'll say tax-free state. We'll have them closer to the south. All right. So we got Tim and Kim sample here. All right, so what happened was, it's pretty interesting. If we look at the profile, Tim's a few years older than his better half, Kim, about 5 or 6 years older. But Tim is going to die 5 years before Kim as well. So not only is Tim 5 years older, he's going to die 5 years earlier. And so as such, Kim's going to survive Tim by 10 years, which means we have tax issues to contend with because we don't want Kim being left with a freaking wet bag of crazy taxes. All right. So Tim worked for this, man, the story is just such a immigrant, great immigrant, the immigrant freaking story you've heard a million times a Sunday, coming out here without a freaking, without a pot to pee in and just go to work, show up on time, work hard. Now he's 62 years old and they got, $5 million in net worth. It's the story of America. And it, frankly, it pisses me off that so many people discount this. It really, really infuriates me, as if they were just given everything. No, they weren't. They came over here with nothing, my friends, and yet here they are because they freaking show up to work, raise kids. Anyway, charitably inclined folk too, which is good. All right, so anyway, long story short, you're going to see he's got a 401k, all right, and right now he's just got the Fidelity Total Bond Fund, about $1 million in there. That's it. The reason he has it all in that is because he has his brokerage account. He's got QQQ, and you can see a decent gain. He made about $200,000 in the Qs. S&P 500, he's made a little bit of money there, and he's got some Tesla stock. So he's that's what he's got now. We're going to use Tesla stock. He works for another company. It's not Tesla, but we're going to use this for an example of his stock options he was able to convert to exercise, and now he's got restricted shares that he was able to exercise, and now he owns the shares outright at look at that cost basis, $300,000 on $1.8 million. So restricted units, restricted stock units. Yeah, I think it's RSUs, restricted stock units, whatever. But anyway, he converted those over from RSUs to actual holdings now. And he was able to convert and pay taxes on a number of other RSUs, but now he just has them in cash. So that's that $550,000. All right. So the question is, he knows his version of Tesla. He's been there for, going on 30 years now. And he says, and I'm like, the only thing that scares him about your company, and I'm looking at the shares, is that it has a pretty high PE ratio, which is frightening, frankly. There's no other way around that. And the fact that it represents, what we got, $2 million, I think. Yeah, about $2 million. Yeah, right there. $2 million of your overall portfolio is 50% of your overall liquid net worth. That's a little bit scary to me. It really is, not going to lie. Now, on top of that, the drawback, of course, is he has a pretty significant gain in here. So if he sells, he's going to get hit with a taxable gain. Now, the nice thing is this is a taxable account. All right. So basically what I want to share with you, we're going to show you if we do nothing. All right, so we're going to say all Tim and Kim want to do. They're not going to spend too much in retirement. They spend about $60,000 a year. However, they do have charitable giving. They want to give $1,000 a month. We'll just call that tithing. And they want to go on some serious travel years of about $25,000 a year until the next 20 years of travel, if that makes sense. Now, we don't know if it's not going to come into fruition or not. Probably. They want to try. They got friends all over the world, man, because they're immigrants. They got lots of friends and family they want to go see if we ever open back up. And again, Tim's 62, just retired. Kim's 56. She works part-time. We're not going to throw it in there. And you can see their healthcare expenses. Their healthcare expenses are going to be the big ones that we have to contend with. $24,000 a year until they hit Medicare, and that'll be about $10,000 a year. They got no pension. We're not doing any long-term care costs. Their income will be Social Security. Tim will get the most. Kim is going to get half of his. And that's they raise 2 kids. And look, if they leave money to kids, they're fine, but not necessarily that's a big concern. We did talk about estate planning because if they died today, their kids would be left with a pretty significant amount of money. Would that be okay? We got into that. We're not going to go into that here today, but just remember, if you died today, your kids would inherit $5.6 million. That's 50% each, and his 2 kids. It's closing in on $3 million. Would they be okay with that? Where they sniff it up their nose or give it to some scoundrel or whatever, or donate to Bernie Sanders? We got to make sure that you know what they're going to do. Lastly, we'll just look at the investments that we have in them. Roughly a 60-40 portfolio with a 4.7 annual rate of return and a standard deviation of only 10. So in this case, and this is where it gets a little bit dicey with any kind of financial planning software, it's taking that individual stock and assuming it's in SPY or something like that, a total stock index or VTI. Well, it's going to be a lot more standard deviation because it's one stock, but no software will be. It's just you can't say this stock will give you this annual rate of return. We expect average rate of return, and it will give you the standard deviation. It's going to throw it into one of the Morningstar 9. You take a tic-tac-toe thing, zoop, 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 zoop. You got 9 different categories. It's going to throw it into that 9 category, and it'll give you a rate of return based on your projections for that one of those 9 boxes of the tic-tac-toe chart. Tic-tac-toe chart. So we're saying 4.7, a 60-40 portfolio, just middle of the road with a 10% standard deviation, which means 99.8% of the time we're saying you'll get 35 on the up and 25 on the down. So 99.8% of the time you're going to get 25 on the down and 35 on the up. But there's always a black swan, especially if you own an individual stock. And I look at the Texas grid going down as a black swan, a once in 100-year event, which everyone wants to get mad at. Why didn't you do this? Why? Because they didn't expect the cold to come. I would blame the global warming climatistas because they've been saying global warming, global warming, global warming, instead of saying let's look for the cold. But be that as it may, no one's really there to blame, other because how are you going to prepare for that? No one ever expected the freaking global freeze like we had in Texas. All right, so you can see what's going on there. Then we go to tax allocation. And this is the problem that we have here. We got $1 million in here and none here. All right, so we got $1 million in deferred accounts and none in tax-free accounts. But because all the stock options are not in 401ks and are taxable accounts, it's going to be a thing of beauty, my friends. Hang tight. So, all right, so they're not run out of money. I mean, we'll see a mile away. They're not going to run out of money. Just not going to. Don't forget, and that's in today's dollars. And don't forget, let's just look at the cash flow just to show you. This is gonna be fun. I can't wait. So we got $100,000 a year in expenses, $37,000 a year in goals, and their total outflows are $150,000. They literally have no income coming in until Tim takes Social Security. Actually, we want him to take Social Security at 70. I'm not sure we even talked about that with him. Let's have him take Social Security at 70. Right there, Tim's age, because we want him to maximize it for himself, but also his better half, old Kim. All right, so we're going to go to retirement, and this will change this probably a little bit, 99%, and that's leaving. We're going to look at the proposed plan because that's what, well, actually, let's just make sure we got all these words of difference here. All right, looks good. All right, let's just put this current. Let's make sure these 2 things are the same. Yeah, there we go. All right, so you can see here they're not running out of money, and they're leaving a sizable liquid asset to their kids too, by the way. And I forgot to tell you, they do live in a pretty nice house. About $1.5 million is their home, $14,000 is a property tax, insurance about $4,000, and $2 million is their annual cost to maintain. Another thing I'm not going to show you here, but another thing we did talk about, they definitely need to get an umbrella policy because they have all this liability right here if they were to get sued. All this taxable stuff is subject to lawsuits. All right, now the 401k and the house are not, but certainly this $3 million is. So they definitely want to get an umbrella policy. So we talk about estate planning and umbrella policies as well. All right, so let's just go back to retirement, and we'll just look at cash flows. Pretty cut and dry here, and it's a thing of beauty. So 104,000 are their expenses, which includes healthcare, housing, living expenses. All right, I mean we don't really know, but we're using that for an example. Goals are 25,000 a year, and travel goals, and a gifting of 12,000 a year. All right, and they're going to do the travel goals only for the next 20 years, but they're still going to continue to gift if that makes sense. All right, so we're going to go here, and then you can see they have small taxes because there's no state income tax in Tennessee, and they have $144,000 of net flows, and they got to get that money from someplace. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to accounts, and we're going to withdraw from accounts, and you'll see it's coming from the taxable account, So if we go to ending balance from accounts, the taxable account, we'll still have a lot of money in there, drawing it down. But you can see this 401k, well, it's growing and growing, but slowly is going down because the money's going to the taxable account because of the tax man. So we don't like that at all. All right, so let's take a look at the taxes here. And here we go. So there's effective tax rate. All right, so we got this gaping opportunity here for Roth conversions. All right, but we're going to show you a couple things. So remember, effective tax rate, they're only in a, effective tax rate is 3.1, so they're probably in a 10% income tax. Yeah, 10% here, and then it jumps to 25% at 72 when that 401k has to start taking distributions for mandatory distributions. But if we look at, go back to retirement, all right, and we look at cash flows, we're going to show you the widow's tax trap for sure. All right, so let's go down, and we got Tim dying off at 85, right? Yeah, right. Was it right here? Oh wait, who do I got dying? Tim dying at 90. There you go. All right, so we got Tim dying at 90, and old Kim's going till 95. There we go. So Tim, so look at this. All right, so they got 246,000 of plan of income coming in with their RMDs plus Social Security and any kind of dividends, whatnot. 246,000 of income, paying 46,000 in total taxes. The very next year, when old Tim dies, their income drops by $50,000, and yet the taxes go up by $500. That's not cool. Look at that, man. Oh, taxes go up by $3,000. Excuse me. So their income drops by $50,000, then taxes go up by $3,000. That's freaking bullcrap. And if we go to expenses, check this out. Go to healthcare. All right, so we're going to go down to when Tim turns 90. So they're paying. Look at this. All right, so Tim's 90. They're both paying $29,000 a year in healthcare. That's Medicare. But then when Tim dies, Kim now is paying $49,000 on her own because of the IRMA stuff. Look at that, freaking nuts, dudes. So I mean, check that out. So she goes from 11,000 Part B to 26,000 Part B because of IRMA. And it's only gonna get worse because Medicare is dead. There is no money in Medicare. Ain't no money in Medicare. Ain't no money in Medicare. You can't make friends with Sal. So that's bad. That's bad. And if we look at our total taxes, they're going to pay $1.302 million in total taxes. Yikes. All right, so what should we do? Let me show you what I said we should do here. All right, let me go to part 2 here. All right, so I'm going to do a different video for part 2 on what they should do next. So hang tight. So watch part 2 coming up.